The lawyer for the truckers is on Ezra Levant right now, and what he's saying is that the measures that have been brought to bear on certain supporters of the trucker convoy are worse than what was done to critics of Vladimir Putin in Russia recently. Tamarah Lich cannot talk about COVID policy. She was a political prisoner for 19 days, and now she's out, she can't talk. So what Ezra Levant's lawyer just did is he just contrasted that with the situation in Russia, and the guy is in prison criticizing Vladimir Putin, and Vladimir Putin put him in prison. Tamarah Lich. Don't want to forget her name. Lich, I think. Tamarah Lich. Oh, yeah. So the CBC or whatever it was, usual cast of morons, came out and said, oh, well, she's not Métis, she's just pretending to be Métis. Okay. So how are you going to determine that she's just pretending to be Métis? And what they did, I swear to God, this is what happened. They looked up her parents' genealogy and found, oh no, they're not Aboriginal at all. Right? It's sensible enough. But the problem is that Tamarah Lich was adopted. So they actually wrote a story saying that she was not of Aboriginal ancestry based on a genealogy that they had done. And it was 100% nonsense. I think it was a day or two later she produced her Métis card. So they didn't know that she had a Métis card. They didn't know that she was adopted. And still they're slinging insults at her on social media and in the Canadian, on the CBC. And okay, oops. I think that there was some kind of oopsie moment there when they realized, okay, so, those weren't her actually biological parents. They made a little mistake there, and then she brought in a Métis card, and so, we've resolved this. We've dug deep and found the truth. And they're just working on the principle that, well, if you just throw the insult out there, it sticks. There'll be a lot of people who think, oh, no, she's just a fake Métis. I mean, to the extent that they would listen to the CBC or any of them in the first place. Right? With some people, that would stick. Oh, she's a fake Indian. There's a lot of fake Indians in Canada, and she's not one of them. I would bet that a lot of the people who criticized her for being a fake Indian were themselves fake Indians. I mean, oof. What are you going to do with these people? That's what it comes down to. It's like Trudeau had this comment. He said something about how you're going to deal with these people, if you're going to tolerate them. He did it twice. Once was with people who refused to get vaccinated, and the other time was with people who refused to call themselves feminists. He said, we need to find out who these people are who won't call themselves feminists and deal with them. I don't know, man. I don't really like it when a government is saying that they need to find people they don't agree with and deal with them, because the government has a lot of power, you see. And so they have to be really careful about the way they talk, don't they? Okay, just to switch topics. We said Joe Biden was too old to be president of the United States. Now what he's done is he makes all kinds of gaffes all over the place. He's just obviously like off in a dream world, or he can't focus, or he's not thinking, or he doesn't care, or he's bored or whatever it is. And he says absolutely outrageous things. And he's not in control of his temper. That's the worst thing. You want to worry about somebody with their thumb on the button, man. I would be worried about him. He's an evil person, and he's demented. I don't think he was an evil person, but as he was growing up, I really doubt that. But if you've had power for too long, you become evil. That's the power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. He's absolutely corrupted. So he said that basically that Vladimir Putin can't remain in power. That's a regime change, right? And he said that if they used biological weapons, that the United States would respond in kind, which would most people interpret it to mean with biological weapons. And then when they questioned about it, he got really angry, and he said nobody was stupid enough to think that's what he meant, even though it's what he said. Really, what are you going to do with these people? So I'm sounding like Trudeau. Like, what are you going to do with people that won't call themselves feminists? But, yeah, okay. So Jim Carrey just came out and talked about the Will Smith thing, and he said, like, look, that was just sickening. The amount of damage that you did to so many people, like, you ruined that evening for everybody? You ruined the evening for everyone. You did. All of the people that worked so hard to be there, which isn't a big issue for me because they get paid well enough.